All right, guys, today we are going to be reacting to why breaking out of prison is legal in Germany. Let's jump in, guys.
This video was made possible by CuriosityStream. Watch over 2,000 documentaries for free for 30 days at curiositystream.com/HAI. Prison, home of melancholic harmonica playing, stripy suits, and nearly 1% of the US population. Oh, whoops,
Damn.
that one wasn't funny. Prisons have been around since basically the beginning of recorded history, starting with the ancient Mesopotamians in 3200 BC. But for most of history, prison wasn't really used as a punishment. It was just a chill-out zone where you would keep people while they either waited for trial or waited to be punished in some other way, like execution, banishment, or watching 13-minute videos about logistics. It wasn't until 19th century England that prison sentences were used as a standard form of punishment, and although punitive prisons have become common across the world, every country still does things a little differently. For example, prisons in Brazil will let inmates reduce their sentence by 4 days for each book they read and write a report on. In China,
Yo, that's a very good one. That's a very good one. You're telling me that I can reduce my sentence for 4 days for each book that I read? Man, I'll start making just, I would grab a calculator, start making, my notes. I would just, then that's a good system.
Rich people often hire body doubles to go to prison in their place, and what started as a British prison now has the third best kayaking team in the world. No matter where you go to prison though, the main idea is the same. You're not supposed to leave. But, depending on where you are, the consequences for leaving are vastly different. In the United States, if you escape from prison, you could be facing as many as 10 additional years behind bars, depending on what jurisdiction you're in and your prior criminal history. But here in Germany, escaping from prison is totally 100% legal. That's right, no matter how many schnitzel you've stolen or bratwurst you've burgled, you cannot be punished for breaking out of a German jail. You see, all the way back to the 1800s, the legislator of what was then the German Empire, the Reichstag, decreed that all people have the right to seek self-liberation and therefore should not be punished for escaping prison. Today, over 130 years later, that law is still in effect. And it's not just Germany. Austria, Belgium, and Mexico all have laws saying you can't be punished for a prison break. The basic reasoning is that there's a difference between the right to have freedom and the right to seek freedom. Kinda like how this video has the right to try to be funny, but it doesn't have the right to actually be funny. When you commit a crime, you forfeit your right to have freedom, which is why the government can lock you up. But these countries believe that people always have the right to seek freedom. As a Mexican Supreme Court judge put it, the basic desire for freedom is implicit inside every man, so trying to escape cannot be considered a crime. There are, however, a few caveats. If, after your escape, the police find you, you can still be sent back to prison. Escaping doesn't mean your sentence goes away, it just means that they can't add on any extra time for the escape. Plus,
but that makes sense.
Even though escaping isn't against the law, it's still against prison rules, so even though you can't get extra jail time, you're less likely to get approved for parole. And if
So that's the caveat right there. You can, you escape prison, that's fine, but if you commit another crime, we're gonna add those years to your current years. So that means that, how can I say this? Escaping the prison itself is not a crime, but if you commit any other crime after that, well, that's a different ballgame.
If you commit any other crimes in the process of escaping, you're still on the hook for those. If you bribe a guard, that's still bribery. If you have to steal a getaway car, that's still theft. If you break the bars of your cell, that's still destruction of property. And if you leave a mean YouTube comment under a video that was made by a really nice guy who's just trying to do his best, well, that's not illegal.
This video is really stupid and badly written. I'm sorry for it. Yo, love these videos. I love these.
But it still hurts my.
I love those comments, man. It just helped with the algorithm.
In that guy's feelings. But despite how difficult it is, a legal prison escape can be done. If you don't believe me, just ask this man, American businessman Joel Kaplan, who in 1971 escaped from a Mexican prison without breaking a single law. Kaplan's escape was carefully planned in order to avoid committing any crimes. It was carried out while the guards were watching a movie, so he didn't have to bribe or assault anyone. The helicopter that picked him up had been bought in full instead of leased, so he couldn't be accused of misusing rented property. Kaplan then boarded a private single-engine Cessna plane, again bought in full and complete with the required identifying numbers, on which he flew to California following a flight plan that had been submitted to and approved by the FAA. After landing, Kaplan presented himself to customs with his real name, avoiding charges of entering a country illegally, and was granted entry as word had not yet reached anyone that he was missing. Kaplan lay low for a while, and neither the FBI or Mexican government showed much interest in finding him, so he never returned to carry out his sentence. While he was laying low though, he probably had a lot of free time he could have used on getting edumacated if it wasn't 1971. Luckily, you live in at least 2015, so you know words like Roku, Android, Xbox One, Smart TV, iOS, Chromecast, Amazon Fire.
Yeah, but that's enough with that. But yeah, so still, even though they're not gonna charge you if you escape the prison, if you commit any crimes outside of that, that's when they got you. But no, that's when they get you. You see what I'm saying? You escape, we're not gonna charge you for that. So you still have a chance to come back. Oh, you don't want to come back? Okay, that's fine. Well, we'll get you. Oh, you committed bribery. Oh, you stole. You killed somebody. You know, say something like that. That then they'll add all those crimes to what to your old ones. So I thought it was like, oh, you escaped prison. Okay, that's fine with you. We're not gonna find you. That's it. But it's not like that. They're simply not gonna charge you because you escaped the prison. Interesting. I think the argument is it can be debated. I'm still a little bit in defense of why not making it a crime, but they're making the argument that it's just a human right. Let me know what you guys think. I would love to hear you guys' opinion regarding this topic. I don't know. It seems kind of controversial. Meantime, guys, I'll see you in the next one.